out of our communities because they don't deserve to be there.
Downtown has 3 to 4 illegal families on every block begging for work and selling Kit Kat bars after $1 billion was spent on them. Where is that money? Where is the money for the South Side and the West Side communities? Not another dollar for the illegals. If the crisis is so bad, the city council members who are so concerned should donate their salaries to the cause like a real public servant should.
That's from a recent, yesterday it was breaking live during this hour. That's from that city council meeting. And we couldn't see everybody, but we played it for you anyway. Now we have so much more of it to play. Illinois has spent more than $1 billion of Chicago tax money already on the people who are there.
Opening the door, New York's now issuing $1,000 checks to people. Anytime you have that incentive, you're going to get more and more people coming. And
according to Customs and Border Protection, this disruption started at about 1:30 on Sunday, and this happened at the Paso del Norte Bridge in El Paso, Texas. Now, this connects El Paso to Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, and CBP says that they deployed physical barriers to stop this attempted mass entry into the United States. Why are we seeing this right now? Well, you probably remember the immigration policy towards Venezuelans changed in October, and since then there's been a swelling of Venezuelans in Ciudad Juarez on the Mexican side.
School board, all these little different things, I was like, yeah. But then I think about other things. So, to speak about what, I'm from Rogers Park. I'm from the north side for 30 years. I'm sure most of you all are here about Paulino or East Rogers Park and not understand how can that be a part of the north side of Chicago? Multiple murders, unsolved. My brother was killed in 1995. His name is Walter Sims. I have not had a follow-up call. There was a young man murdered, a few months ago when the yellow line crashed. His name is Kenneth. He was murdered by a young man named Kamari. I know both of these young kids. Friends murdered, but one of them is going to get off because the charges that were filed against him were dropped. So the city is showing us that black lives don't matter, or black life does not matter to it. And we being condemned in this sense. We being forgotten in that thought. So I'm the young black man, Tawan Sims, that love black people and want to see some type of resolve in it. Some reparation, maybe. Some understanding, hopefully. These are our electeds. We got Maria Haddon, Alderman Bill in the far south side. Everybody that should feel responsible. Everybody lining their pockets, everybody getting something out of it. Everybody, except for the people. So we ask, honestly, wholeheartedly, when do we get the consideration? When? Honestly. I'm from your Ward 49th. We got a congressional woman been in the office for 24 years. When do we get some consideration? No, don't shake your head, Maria, because I've been hitting you up for the last few weeks. I'm sleeping in the 24th district, woman, and you still ain't, please. But sorry, y'all.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Jessica Jackson.
Ecuador, ¿a dónde vas en los Estados Unidos?
Nueva York.
New York, going to New York. ¿De dónde son? ¿De dónde son? Costa Rica, ¿a dónde vas en los Estados Unidos?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
New Jersey.
¿Dónde?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. ¿A dónde vas en los Estados Unidos?
Chicago.
Chicago. ¿Y de dónde son?
Colombia.
Colombia. ¿Quieren trabajar?
No.
No? ¿Asilo?
Sí, yes.
They say they want asylum, they don't want to work. ¿De dónde son? Oh, where are you from?
Senegal, Africa.
Senegal, from Senegal. We saw a lot of Senegalese in Lukeville, Arizona. Where in the U.S. do you want to go to? What city?
France. Where? Speak French.
Oh, he says he speaks French. I obviously do not speak French. Watch out, Lexi. Hi, where are you from?
I'm from Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. ¿A dónde vas los Estados Unidos?
New York.
New York. Okay. So you get a little flavor right there, guys. They're from all around.
They know about the human trafficking. They know about, I mean, the 24,000 Chinese nationals who came in last year and over 20,000 that have come in since October 1st.
I am astonished that maybe I shouldn't be, Congressman, that he keeps talking about his plan, his initial plan. The initial idea that he introduced.
Yeah, it's about incentives, Sean. I mean, they're basically opening the door. New York's now issuing $1,000 checks to people. Anytime you have that incentive.
That's Joe Biden's policy. We're past the point of no return. This is an irreversible change in the United States that he's engineered.
Yeah, this is essentially equivalent to our National Guard. But what it really is just a continued expansion, a massive expansion of the People's Liberation Army and the armed forces in China. Their nuclear buildup.
24,000 Chinese nationals came into the country via the southwest border back in 2023. And if you do the math, that's more than 10 times higher than the year before. Stephanie Haynes joins us live. And Stephanie, border officials say one of the driving forces here is social media.
Social media, various platforms have become an enormous tool in aiding illegal aliens trying to enter the United States. Whether they're coming illegally, trying to abscond, or those that are surrendering at the border and claiming asylum.
Texas, now a small town near San Diego, is emerging as a hotspot for migrants from around the world who are treating the border as an open door. Bill Malusian is live in Jacumba.
But critics call Adams' comments fear-mongering, saying despite the upfront costs, immigration is key to a healthy economy. Meanwhile, in Chicago, migrants have been sleeping on the floors of police stations and even at O'Hare Airport, reportedly behind these curtains. The mayor speaking with our station ABC7 saying the city is now working to move migrants into large tents.
Before inclement weather sets in, we fully expect to have these base camps established. This is who we are as a city, but it will require sacrifice and sacrifices from every single level of government.
What it must be like in that state of Texas on a daily basis where people are arriving. Our president, President Biden, has not done enough. He has not done enough to secure the borders. He has not done enough to go in and propose some legislation that he can push forth himself to change this situation. And I'm telling you, we're so angry here in Chicago, which has been a Democratic stronghold for most of its eternity. This year, we're working to turn Chicago red. We are so angry with Pritzker and with President Biden and with our mayor that we have decided that we're going to vote Republican this time around. Wow. That's just how angry we are. We are so angry that we are willing and going to turn our backs on the Democratic Party. I sat in some of those city council meetings and I looked at and I watched the aldermen totally disregard the voices of the people. And when I was going down there, we were coming down every week in the hundreds.
And what's so fascinating, because we've been covering this for more than 2 years, it was a heavy surge in Texas, but it's now come out west, Arizona, and here in the San Diego sector, particularly of the 20,000 I mentioned that came here, they have had more than 90% of Chinese migrants coming to this area, particularly in Jacumba. And that is a situation they're having to deal with. Along with last week, they had more than 73 different countries. I don't know what we've got this week, but it's definitely off the charts. Jason?
Exactly, Mark. You know, I spoke to someone who used to work in Border Patrol, and he says social media really helps demystify the process of passage into the United States, especially from the southern border. And if you take a look at CBP data right now, year to date, this fiscal year, there have been more than 18,000 encounters with Chinese nationals at the southern border. That is already way ahead of the record pace that was set last year. If you just take a look at some of the data we'll pull up for you, fiscal year 2023, there were more than 24,000 encounters at the southern border with Chinese nationals, up from 2,100 the year before and 450.
And again, it looked a little strange on screen because when we caught that a few moments ago, we had to show that to you. I mean, it gives me chills. They're junking up our country, and it's our country, Jay.
They have an immigration policy idea that's different than what's the laws on the books, and they'll just break the laws. That's what they're doing, and that's why we impeached Alejandro Mayorkas, because he didn't care about that co-equal branch of...
Where are you guys from? Turkey. Where are you guys from? ¿De dónde son? Ecuador. Where are you guys from? China. What city in the U.S. do you want to go to?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. L.A.? Los Angeles, okay.
Yeah? English?
So.
Why are you coming to the U.S.? Why come?
Because we love America, and we need a nice style, a nice life.
Yeah, coming for jobs?
Yeah, a nice job, a nice because our country very weird.
Well, tempers are flaring in Chicago too, Jason. So let's move there because, as you often said, this migrates all on its own. People are fanning out all over the country. A Chicago City Council meeting that's going on right now, in fact, is all over massive illegal immigrant crisis in that sanctuary city. People who live there as American citizens are furious over the millions of dollars in resources going to the illegals, who so many communities there are in need. They need those resources. The video is going to look a little strange because we just took this. It's going on right now. So it's a Zoom, and you'll see the countdown a little bit, but just listen to the words.
This morning, the mayor of the nation's largest city with this controversial warning about the recent influx of migrants, many arriving on buses provided by Texas and Florida.
This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
Mayor Eric Adams says the city is already running a $12 billion deficit, and it could cost another $12 billion to address the migrant crisis in the next few years.
Every service in this city is going to be impacted. All of us.
City schools also affected, taking in nearly 20,000 more students. Adams is demanding more financial help from the Biden administration, while Republicans seize on his comments. A statement on House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's website says liberal Democrats are finally coming to terms with the reality that the Biden border crisis is hurting the country.
It's really, we have got to respond and respond quickly, not only with the equipment that we have, and I know you serve, but with also the readiness and training. We're more focused on our woke ideology and checking.
Being released en masse near San Diego. Meanwhile, back in D.C., Biden continues to pretend his hands are tied on securing the border.
We introduced a comprehensive plan to fix the system. It included funding for high-tech border security, legal pathways for dreamers, addressed root causes of why so many people are fleeing to the southern border to avoid violence, corruption, political instability, natural disasters. And by the way, speak to your agricultural communities and ask them if they need temporary workers.
Last night, take a look at this video. I came out before midnight. There were dozens of these migrants from all around the world who are camping out here with fires. It's chilly out here. Again, waiting for Border Patrol to pick them up. This is right off of Interstate 8 out here in San Diego County, a main thoroughfare. There was not a single Border Patrol agent out here for hours when I was out here. All these people waiting to be picked up, some from China, some from Turkey, some from Central America. They were just waiting. Here's some of what they had to say when I talked to them. Take a listen.
Homeland Security Committee Chairman, Congressman Mark Green. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for being with us. I know this is an issue that
thanks for having me.
Work every day on tirelessly, and we're grateful for that. It has to be concerning for you to hear Joe Biden, and for us to hear Joe Biden, in essence, say anyone who has a concern around the world, they have an open door to come through our southern border into the U.S., which is in essence what he just said.
Now, the number of Chinese have been exploding here at the southern border. This is not normal. Take a look at this graphic right here to put it in perspective. CBP sources telling Fox in the last 4.5 months since October 1st, there have been more than 20,000 Chinese nationals encountered here at our southern border. Compare that to all of fiscal year 2021 when there were only 450 Chinese nationals encountered. That is a more than 4,000% increase in Chinese national encounters in just the last few years, and it is not just from China. Colleague Griff Jenkins caught up with a group of Syrian men out here yesterday. Take a listen.
They're lining up the families and the women and children that'll go first when the vans come. But the vans are overloaded because so many migrants are coming, so they have to wait hours. And in fact, some of these migrants might even have to spend the night, depending on how many vans they have. We spoke to one Chinese migrant man, though, Jason, and I asked him why exactly it is that he's come to the U.S. The answer may shock you. Listen here. Why did you come?
Take money.
Money?
Yes.
For job?
Yes.
There's no job in China.
Maybe, I don't know.
In December of 2023, Biden released 191,000. That was 11,000 times more illegal migrants who were let loose. Was a mass amnesty bill that Nancy Pelosi wouldn't even put her hands on when she was the Speaker of the House.
Yeah. You're looking live at the Fox News flight team over Chinese migrants trying to cross the southern border illegally. Griff Jenkins is live in Jacumba, California with the latest. Griff, what are you seeing down there?
Yeah, Jackie, good morning to you. Out here in Jacumba, we're about an hour east of downtown San Diego right now. This is a very remote area that has seen an explosion of illegal crossings from Chinese migrants and Middle Eastern migrants. This is the area the cartel has been pushing them across for some reason. You can see some of them over my shoulder right now, camped out off a major interstate out here, waiting for Border Patrol to pick them up. I'll show you what it looked like out here